The architecture of your misery was drafted before you took your first breath. You were born into a race you didn't choose, running toward a finish line that moves every time you get close. You've been programmed by thousands of years of evolution to stay hungry, to stay vulnerable, and, above all, to stay distracted. Your brain is an ancient machine designed for survival in the wild, now trapped in a world of high-speed fiber optics and infinite dopamine loops. Most people spend their entire lives trying to control the world around them, oblivious to the fact that they are slaves to a biological script they didn't write. They chase status to feel safe, they seek validation from glass screens to feel seen, and they hoard the illusion of enough to quiet the noise in their heads. But enough never comes for a mind that is undisciplined. You see it every day, men with millions who are still anxious and leaders with power who are still fragile. Today, we break that script. We aren't talking about philosophy as an academic exercise for the ivory tower. We are talking about strategic indifference, the secret weapon of emperors, the armor of the elite, and the operating system of the 1% of the 1%. What keeps you awake at 3 a.m.? It's not the heat death of the universe or the grand questions of existence. It's the opinion of a neighbor who doesn't matter. It's the uncertainty of a career that could replace you in a week. It's the opportunity cost of your own anxiety. Every second you spend negotiating with your emotions or rehearsing imaginary arguments in your head is a second you aren't building your empire. In the US, we're sold a toxic lie that passion and following your heart is the path to success. It's the opposite. Passion is a leak in your cognitive fuel tank. If your happiness depends on a market shift, a corporate promotion, or someone else's volatile mood, you aren't successful. You are a temporary lucky person, and luck always runs out. If you do not learn to detach, you are not the driver of your life. You are a passenger in a vehicle steered by biological whims and the expectations of a society that wants you compliant, not powerful. The first framework of the prime mind is internal decoupling. Stoicism isn't about being a robot, it's about being a surgeon. You must perform a cold, calculated separation of reality. The external realm. This includes the economy, the algorithm, the weather, your past, and what people say behind your back. Over these things, you have exactly zero total control. To invest even an ounce of emotion here is a tactical error. It is like screaming at the rain because you forgot an umbrella. It changes nothing but your own blood pressure. The internal realm, this is your only sovereign territory. It consists of your interpretations, your judgments, and your reactions. As Epictetus, a man born into literal slavery who died a master of his own mind, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Reality is neutral. A market crash is just a redistribution of capital. A breakup is just a shift in social dynamics. The event itself has no moral weight until your mind labels it as good or bad. The pain of a setback is unavoidable, but the suffering, the "why is this happening to me" narrative, is an optional construct of an untrained mind. If you want peace, stop fighting 30-foot waves. Learn to navigate the space between the stimulus and your response. That space is where your power lives. It is the only place where you are truly free. But having a fortress is useless if you are being poisoned from within. There is a virtue that most people praise, which is actually the silent killer of high performance. We'll expose it now. In the circles of elite performance, we have a term for wealth, fame, and power: preferred indifference. Is it better to be rich than poor? Yes. Is it better to be healthy than sick? Absolutely. But these things do not define the core of a man. The silent killer I mentioned, it's hope. Hope is a beggar's virtue. Hope implies you are waiting for the universe to grant you a result. The prime mind doesn't hope, it architects. When you hope for a better tomorrow, you are admitting you have no agency today. You are essentially begging for a favorable outcome from a world that owes you nothing. This is the Stockdale paradox.
Admiral James Stockdale, held as a POW in Vietnam for over 7 years, noticed that the first people to die in the camps were the optimists. They were the ones who said, "We'll be out by Christmas." Christmas would come and go, and they would die of a broken heart. Stockdale survived because he accepted the brutal reality of his situation while maintaining an unshakable discipline over his internal state. The Emperor's strategy. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, practiced premeditation malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning he didn't visualize a perfect day, he visualized betrayal, failure, and death. Not because he was a pessimist, but because he was a strategist. He vaccinated himself against disappointment. When you prove to yourself through intentional hardship and mental rehearsal that you can be effective even if you lose everything, you become unbribable. If the system cannot tempt you with comfort, it cannot control you. You become a man who is dangerous to the status quo because you have nothing to lose. Seneca wrote, "If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person." We live in a culture that is a machine designed to produce chronic dissatisfaction. You are told that peace is in the next purchase, the next city, or the next win, but you will always find yourself there. If you are a fragmented, anxious person in a studio apartment, you will be a fragmented, anxious person in a penthouse. High performance is not about a perfect world, it's about a trained mind. Here is the actionable framework for the prime mind. The objective lens. Remove the adjectives from your life. It's not a disastrous failure, it is a data point. It's not an insult, it is vocal noise from a person with a different perspective. When you strip the emotional adjectives, you are left with the facts, and facts can be managed. The 24-hour rule. If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. Most of what you think is urgent is merely noisy. The view from above. When you feel overwhelmed, zoom out. Visualize your city, then your country, then the planet, then the galaxy. Realize the insignificance of your current crisis. This isn't meant to make you feel small, it's meant to make your problems feel manageable. You have the power to edit the narrative of your life in real time. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are the lead architect. Choose not to be harmed, and you haven't been. This is the ultimate life hack. If you decide that a setback is actually a training exercise, it stops being a setback and starts being an asset. Stoicism isn't about passivity or accepting defeat. It's about being so secure in your internal empire that you can conquer the external one without fear. It is about playing the game of life with a house money mentality. The art of strategic indifference is not about having no heart. It's about being radically selective with who and what gets access to your emotional energy. Your time and your attention are your only non-renewable assets. Wasting them on the uncontrollable, the trivial, or the opinions of the mediocre is a crime against your potential. Most people will finish this video and go right back to their noise. They will get angry at a tweet, anxious about a headline, and depressed about past they cannot change. But you are here because you recognize that comfort is a slow-acting poison. You are here because you are ready to stop being a passenger in your own head. If you are committed to reaching your prime, to becoming the sovereign of your own mind, join the circle. Subscribe to the Prime Mind. We don't offer motivation here. Motivation is for those who need a pat on the back to do their job. We offer the blueprints for those who are ready to build something that lasts. Define your success by your discipline. Guard your peace with your life. The world belongs to those who can see it for what it is without being blinded by what they feel. Stay sharp, stay silent. The Prime Mind.